Good morning, community. Is RJ, and it is time for the Sunday Trivia Recap. Hooray! Loud cheers, applause, mass hysteria, fireworks shooting off, dogs and cats living together, utter chaos. I think the fireworks happened at the carnival just the other night, but we're just going absolutely insane because it is time to give away some fantastic prizes and to go through some awesome trivia. So, what do you say? Let's go. All right, so three great trivia questions, three awesome prizes to go along with them. On Monday's question: name the player whose uniform number. I said name the only player whose uniform number had been retired by three different teams, barring Jackie Robinson, of course. Now, I was informed by a couple people that actually there were two answers to that question. So I apologize, but there's a reason behind it. So the answer I was looking for was Nolan Ryan. Nolan Ryan, I'm going to go to a web page here, take a look. It's actually highlighted. Nolan Ryan is the only player to have his number retired by three clubs. His number 30 is retired by the Angels, 34 retired by the Astros, and 34 retired by the Texas Rangers. So that was what I knew to be true. However, someone pointed out to me that there is another correct answer because Frank Robinson had his number 20 retired by three clubs. And it just happened recently, the third one, which is why I did not know it. So right here, you can see Frank Robinson had number 20 retired by the Orioles, the Reds, and the Indians. Frank Robinson was notably a player manager for the Indians in the mid 70s. So I guess the Indians had nothing better to do one day and decided to retire Frank's number. It said down there it happened in 2017. So somebody managing that particular website is going to have a little updating to do, and I'm going to have to remember that Nolan Ryan is no longer the correct answer to that question. All right. So anyway, the individuals on the screen here were kind enough to throw out a guess for that question. I want to give a shout out to a newbie, a new participant in my trivia giveaway, Mike, the Vintage Composer, threw out a guess. So show him some love, give him a couple looks and likes on his channel, please. I appreciate that. I get more people interested in me that way. So, all right. So the prize you're going for is this awesome Albert Pujols MLB Showdown game card from 2003, which is a fairly young Albert Pujols. He doesn't even have the beard and goatee there. So, nice card for any Albert Pujols fan out there, and I'm sure there are lots of them. So, as we are wont to do on this channel, we will shuffle once and spin. You must hit 3 times on my channel to win. I do that because I like to draw out the suspense and give more people an opportunity to win rather than just be one and done. So here we go. Good luck, everybody. I wish I could say there's big news to share and everything, but not really. Nothing really happening in my collecting universe. I did get a really cool book recently, and I want to shout out to. I believe I got this off of John Mangini's channel. The idea. I think he was the one who had indicated that. Now, who was it? Somebody sat down with John Mangini. It might have been Mike, baseball collector. Anyway, one of those big guys sat down with Dr. Beckett, or not Dr. Beckett, Dick Perez, famed baseball artist Dick Perez. And apparently somebody out there right now is making a biography of his life, his career as a baseball artist. And he is a legendary baseball artist. He's the guy who did the Diamond Kings all those years. I think he might still do it once in a while. I don't know if Panini, who owns the Donruss rights these days, I don't know if they've chosen a different individual to do the more recent Diamond Kings, but Dick Perez was the first one to do it. In fact, in one of the card sets They actually included a photo card of Dick Perez in one of the early Donruss releases. So I thought that was kind of cool. They put in a card of him. But anyway, oh, Goody G. All right, so we're pausing a moment in the story. Goody G, congrats to you, sir. You will be receiving this Albert Pujols card in the mail. Well done, sir. We are moving on to Wednesday's question. Now, Wednesday's question, I thought there was one answer to this question because it was very famous to me, but it turned out there were three answers to this question. So when I gave it, I said team or teams. I said there may be one, and in the description, I actually used the word team parenthesis S parenthesis team. So I said, which team or teams once wore uniforms with the words "World Champs" plastered across the front of them? And there are three correct answers. Here we go. The very first was the 1906 New York Giants. This is a guy named Mike Donlin from the 1906 Giants. Little bit of history for this one. In 1900, the American League became a true league. John McGraw, Hall of Fame manager John McGraw, was actually the manager of the original Baltimore Orioles in the American League. He did that for 2 years. Had a falling out with the organizers of the American League, and got an opportunity and was recruited by the New York team in the National League to be their manager. So rather than stay in the American League, John McGraw jumped to the National League and became a Hall of Fame manager for the Giants. Now, in it took a couple of years for the American League to gain respectability and for the National League to realize these guys aren't going anywhere. They're here to stay. And they were. So eventually they did kind of like a peace offering. An agreement that yes, that will both be major league, will both be considered major leagues. We'll honor everybody's agreements. We'll settle things down. And they had a World Series in 1903. The Red Sox met the Pirates. The Red Sox won. The next year, 1904, the winning teams in the American League. The winning team in the American League was the Philadelphia Athletics. Or it might have been. I think it was the Boston team again in 1904. But 1904, the Giants and John McGraw won the National League. Now, since McGraw was still holding a grudge after a couple of years with the American League, he refused to play them. He said that the National League was a major league. The American leagues were just, pansies and had no business being a major league, so we're not going to play them in a World Series. There was no World Series in 1904. In 1905, the Giants again won. This time, the winner was Connie Mack of the Philadelphia Athletics. Now, John McGraw respected Connie Mack, so he agreed to play a series of games at the end of the season between the two leagues for the world champions. And McGraw won, and they won handily. If you know your history, there were 5 games in the World Series because the Giants won 4-1, and each game was a shutout. And it was an amazing, still a legendary World Series. So the next year, being cocky as he was, and still considering the American League a inferior league, he had his uniforms plastered with the word "World's Champions" on the front of them, just to stick it in the American League's nose that, yes, we are the world champions. So that was the first team. The second team, believe it or not, the 1921 Cleveland Indians. This is Smokey Joe Wood on the Cleveland Indians, wore a world's champion jersey. So I don't think that one went very far. I'm not sure if they did it the whole season, because I do have a uniform book, and this wasn't shown as a uniform. But the last one is very famous as well. The 1927 St. Louis Cardinals. They did it a little different. This is Rover Cleveland Alexander on the Cardinals, and they did world champions around the bird on the breast pocket. of the uniform front. So those are your three answers. Any of those three answers would have been satisfactory. It never happened again. No other team. Well, this is a warm-up jacket that the Phillies wore, but no other team ever wore World's Champions on their primary jersey during the season. Just those three. So those are your answers. The individuals here on the screen were kind enough to throw out a guess for that one. Who I think Goody G won. I was talking so much. Yeah, Goody G won. I don't think Goody put out an entrance in this one, so I know they'll take him off the board. Everybody else is a regular to my channel. So again, the answer was the 1906 Giants or 1921 Indians or 1927 Cardinals. So again, we will shuffle once and spin. Good luck to everybody. So I was talking about the Dick Perez documentary. So they're making a documentary of Dick Perez's life and career in as a sports artist. And during the interview, it's an independent documentary. No major studio is doing this. Most documentaries are independent because movie studios don't consider documentaries money winners. Anyway, so they're doing some fundraising activities. They're selling. Oh, I forgot to tell you what the prize was. I'm going to pause here. I'm not doing anything nefarious. I'm just pausing. The prize for this one is what was the year 2020 or 19 something, 1999, inserted into the main top set. It was the Topps Power Players. It was actually called Limited Power Players in the tradingcarddatabase.com. I don't know why, but this one's of Jeff Bagwell. Very pretty card. Very shiny shine on that one. So that's what we're spinning for here, just to let you know real quick. Go again. But yeah, so the documentary, there's a fundraiser. They're doing, I think, limited edition card sets, which I couldn't find for sale anywhere. I reached out. There's a website. You can look it up. Google it. I'm sorry, I don't know what it is. I'm not going to track it down. If you're interested enough, you can find it pretty easily with the Google. It's Dick Perez documentary, But one thing I did get, I spent a whole bunch of money and I picked up the book. There's a book they're releasing, and it is a very, very thick book. It's phone book size, and it has all kinds of fantastic images of Dick's art over the years. So that was something I was pretty pumped to get. I got this gigantic box in the mail, and I'm trying to think to myself, I didn't buy any card set that's this big. I didn't buy anything that big. When I opened it, I finally realized what it was. It's very cool. That is 3 for Adam. Okay, Adam's a guy I knew would appreciate the shiny shine. So there you go, Adam. You'll be getting that awesome card. Congrats to you, sir. 3 for you. Now we're moving on to Friday. What do we have on Friday? Friday was what I thought was a simple question. It was funny how many people threw out all kinds of weird guesses. But I said, in the history of baseball, what was the first team to go by the name of its state rather than its city? Now, I specifically said, do not tell me New York, because how do you know if that team referred to the state or the city if their team is from New York? Plus, every team that called itself New York was in New York City. That's where they were based. So New York was not an acceptable answer to me. The actual answer is the Minnesota Twins. Now, a little background here real quick about how this came about. The Washington Senators were an original American League team. However, late in the in the 50s, they began, like a lot of other teams, to look for greener pastures. Some of the cities that housed teams were no longer conducive to having more than one, or wherever they were, it no longer fit their desire. Actually, most of the teams that jumped ship to greener pastures really were second teams in a city. So the Boston Braves left Boston. The Philadelphia Athletics left Philadelphia. The New York Giants and the Brooklyn Dodgers left New York. The Washington Senators, though, were the one team where they were by themselves. So in 1960, the Washington Senators made it be known they were leaving Washington and going to go to Minnesota. Now, the powers in baseball didn't like that. They thought it was important, because baseball is the American pastime, to keep a team in Washington, D.C. So in 1961, there was the first ever expansion in baseball. A new Washington Senators was created. So sometimes you'll get confused if you're looking at cards where you'll see the Washington Senators and you'll think that was the same team that Walter Johnson pitched on and whatnot. No, that was not. If you're looking in the 60s, those are part of the new Washington Senators. That team eventually, in 72, moved to Texas, specifically the Arlington area, and became the Texas Rangers. So from the early 70s up until the Expos left Montreal, there was no team in Washington. But certainly now we know the Washington Nationals are back in Washington. So anyway, the answer to the question was the Minnesota Twins, who are the same franchise as the original Washington Senators. What you're playing for on that one is this awesome 1977 card of Hall of Famer Jim Kaat. Shows him on the Phillies. His best team ever. No, obviously Kaat is a Twin, tried and true Minnesota Twin for Jim Kaat. He started, like I said, if it's interesting, you can see here, he started on the Senators, the Washington Senators, back in the late 50s, early 60s. And then they became the Twins, same team and all. So that's what you're playing for there. All right, so everybody up on here is kind enough to throw out a guess. Say Goody G won. So Goody, you were out. You cannot win that card. I think did Adam put out a guess for that one? No, Adam wasn't in this one. So it looks like Adam just wanted that shiny shine card, you know. Anyway, so everybody else is here. We will shuffle once and spin. Good luck to everybody on that one. So yeah, the book I got from the Dick Perez project is it's a really thick, big, leather-bound, coffee table-sized book. It's fantastic. And a lot of what you'll see are reprints of his card set. Dick Perez did a Hall of Fame postcard set that's still out there. It's still available. They're not too pricey, but you know it's hard to get a full set ever. I think they were issuing it in like various series, you know, a pack of 10 or 12 every so often. One of the things I did hear is that this documentary made him go back and create postcards of some of the players or executives or whatever that he might not have done in the past. And it is, or maybe caught up till today. Maybe at those postcards, he did stop releasing them annually at a certain time. So maybe the new card set, or the limited card set, is just picking up to the current date. Don't quote me on that. I would highly recommend if the art of Dick Perez is something you're a fan of, I would recommend you track down the website, learn more about the project to create his documentary, learn more about what's available through the fundraising things, and definitely, if you get a chance, try and pick up something to support this project. Because again, I'm a fan of great baseball art. Was that 3 in a row for Tommy Markwell? No, it wasn't. It was paying down fine Tommy. He's got 2 now. Okay. There's so many names, they don't all fit on that little space, and I gotta kind of scroll up and down every once in a while to make sure I didn't see somebody had already hit 3 times. But no, not getting anything here. I was just about to say Ken over at God is Great. He wins often on my channel, but he didn't even have a hit. There he got. This is what I love doing, is so that you hit 3, just so you know. Everybody on the list, now Goody G was taken off because he's already won, but everybody else has got 1 hit. So you're all in the running. That's why I do it 3 times. Plus, there's not a lot of people, so I can. That's 3 for Jimmy Lucari right there. Isn't it? Isn't it? Where's Jimmy? It's not 3 for Jimmy Lucari. It's not. Oh, my word. So, yeah, please check out the Dick Perez documentary page. Learn a little bit more about that. And consider purchasing something cool for your collection, all right? All right, that is 3, though, for Tommy Markwell. So, Tommy, congrats to you, sir. You'll be getting this fantastic Jim Cott one. It's got a little bit of the gum stain on the back, but I don't think anybody cares about that for a free Jim Cott card, all right? So that's it for today, people. I appreciate you stopping by. I appreciate all the support. If you found that interesting, please consider liking, subscribing, commenting, and all that jazz. We will be back again next week with 3 more great questions, 3 more great prizes, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Hope to see you there. Thanks for watching. Do check out that Dick Perez stuff. I really think you'll like it. So that's all I have for you today. Enjoy the weekend. Take care.